Hey, welcome back to Logical Republican. Thanks for stopping in again today. My apologies for being away so long. A lot of business travel, illness in the family, and some other family issues that needed to be taken care of that had a much higher priority than this. I'm sure you can understand. I'm sure you can relate. But again, thank you for stopping back in today. Remember, like what you see, like what you hear. Please hit that like button, the subscribe button, greatly appreciated. And I will do my best to post something nearly every day going forward. What I want to talk about now is something that really pisses me off, and I'm sure it does you as well, is politicizing natural disasters. Okay. Now, Florida has been ravaged, absolutely ravaged. They've had two major hurricanes in less than a month. Helene came through, and then in short order this past week, Milton, which was supposed to be the storm of storms, came through as well. Hundreds died, millions without power, thousands of people displaced, just wiped out, houses gone, houses ruined. And during Helene, where was Joe Biden? He knew it was coming. He knew the storm was coming. But where did Joe go? Joe went to the beach in Delaware. That's right. Kamala, where was she? She was at a photo op at the border in Arizona, at a part of the border that really isn't impacted. But she had to go down to the border and take some pictures with border guards and whatever, just to see how it's so quiet down there, how the people jumping the fence have decreased. It was her second visit to the border since she became the border czar. That's two visits. And she had to go because it was already pre-planned instead of maybe coming to Florida to see what was going on here. But, again, Florida is not a battleground state. It's not Michigan. It's not Wisconsin. It's not Pennsylvania. It's Florida. And they've probably already pretty much conceded that Florida is going to go Republican in the election. So they're focusing everything they can on the battleground states like, Arizona, where the border is, because it's still kind of up in the air. Biden took Arizona in 2020. Trump took it in 2016. It's kind of up in the air. And which way will it go? I don't know. But if Kamala stays there more time and visits the border a little bit more and whatever, maybe she thinks that she can actually win Arizona. Helene then terrorizes Georgia and the Carolinas. People are wiped out there, dead, flooding. There was the video of the Fox News or Fox weatherman rescuing some lady from a submerged car on live TV. It's real. People were flooded. People were dying. People were stuck. Where were the politicians? Doing something else, probably much more important, like cackling on a transgender podcast talking about something. whatever the hell Kamala was doing. So that was Helene, and then comes Milton. And this was built up. The whole country was watching. I mean, everybody had popcorn, wondering what the hell is going to happen to Florida. The storm of storms. A category 6. They might have to create a new category because the winds were so high. 180 miles an hour over the Gulf. It is going to wipe out Florida. And where was Joe? Joe was actually supposed to go overseas, and somebody told him, Joe, maybe it would be better theater if you cancel that overseas trip, wait and see what happens with Milton, and then make a trip down to Florida. Well, Kamala was somewhere else, campaigning, interviewing, softball interviews somewhere, but not in Florida. Well, apparently she called Ron DeSantis and wanted to come on down, and Ron basically ignored her phone call. So then Kamala politicizes it, saying, well, Ron DeSantis is ignoring my phone calls. Well, to Ron DeSantis's credit, and of course this part was not covered by the liberal press, Ron basically said, she hasn't called me in 4 years. So why should I take her call now when she wants to come down here and politicize her visit? Like she's doing something presidential. She could have done something presidential during the first one. She could have canceled her plans. She could have altered the time frame for her border visit. I'm sure they would have understood. I'm sure it would have made her look good in Florida. I'm sure it would have made her look good on a national stage. It would have made her look, quote unquote, presidential. But instead, she goes to the border wearing a gold rope chain that Run DMC would be proud of. I think it cost $62,000. But Ron DeSantis, to his credit, was all over the news channels, visiting various parts of Florida. So was Senator Rick Scott. Somebody asked Rick Scott, has the White House called you? And he said, no, and I'm not going to call them because I've called the White House several times and they never return my phone calls. So much for politics, right? So you probably saw Tropicana Field where the Rays play. Destroyed. Wow. The roof wiped off. It was kind of like the Metrodome in Minneapolis when the blizzard collapsed the roof. It was like one of those you got to be kidding Mother Nature moments. But, other places in Florida, south of Tampa, like Clearwater and Bradenton and Fort Myers, all along the coast, just devastated, flooded, absolutely flooded. It's really kind of sad. Joe is in Florida now, from what I understand, taking photo ops. I'm sure wherever he's going, wherever there's like a wheelchair ramp. And I'm joking. Joe is not that much of an invalid yet. He's just lost. He's absolutely lost. I'm sure they had to remind him that he's actually in Florida. But meanwhile, all of these conspiracy theories, I don't even know where they're coming from. It's probably like, one or two idiots that is making up these theories, and then the liberal media is running with it saying, oh, look, the conservatives are coming up with FEMA conspiracy theories that they're planning hurricanes or something really, really stupid like that. What I do know is I'm not aware of any conspiracy theories about FEMA, but I do know from talking to people that I know out there that there's basically no help. There's nothing going on. It's locals that are helping locals. It is people trying to figure out what the heck they're going to do next because their house or their restaurant or their business or their garage or their field or their property got flooded and is basically in ruin, but they're getting like next to no help. There's nobody writing a check. There's nobody coming down and saying, we're going to help you fix this. No. But we send billions and billions of dollars to the Ukraine, billions and billions of dollars to Israel. We send money to places like Kenya and Pakistan, places where they really don't like us very much. We spend billions on hotels for illegal immigrants in New York City. Billions. People in Florida and Georgia and the Carolinas are getting maybe a couple $100 to help out. Grocery money, basically. Are they getting money to help rebuild? Are they getting low-cost loans? Maybe at some point in time. But the billions are going overseas. The billions are going places that do not directly impact Americans. Something has got to change. People with flooded homes are hosed. It's just amazing how all of this becomes politicized. And there's not a damn thing we can do about it except vote in a few weeks and get these bozos out of the White House. Make sure Kamala is not in the White House with that complete zero Tim Walz. Anyways, that was kind of my rant for today. Again, if you like what you see, like what you hear, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and I will do my best to see you tomorrow. See ya.